make sure that you get the lightener out of the hair with the shampoo, because you don't want it to keep processing. Make sure you hold this hose really good too. Okay, I'm fully in control of this hose. Make sure you let that hair air. You air it and breathe. Got to lift it up. Otherwise, if you don't get under here well, you could almost miss it. And it's happened. I've seen it happen. So don't underestimate anything that I tell you. There's a reason why I'm saying it. So you can even make them lift up and get that back of that head. Okay, and I'm just going to do one more. Look how pretty though, right? It's going to come out beautiful. And this one could be very quick. It doesn't have to be near as long as the first one to get all that lightener out. And always massage it. Make it a pleasant experience for them. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I want to tone her or not, so I'm gonna use this, and it's called 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐬. Just in case if I love this blonde and I don't wanna tone her, I will just put this on so it closes the cuticle down of the blonde. Okay, you can put your head back. And it'll seal the cuticle up and close it, because when you open up the cuticle and make it this blonde, it will lift up so many levels, so it pulls the cuticle apart a little bit, and this 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐬 will actually close it back down. And to use a little bit of cool water on this. I always close the cuticle with cool water as well, besides the 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐬𝐬. Is that nice and cold?
It's good.
And always do this, Tammy, when you're home too, to make sure that the hair cuticle is closed. It's just like your face. You know how we always are told to put, you know, cold water. If you want to open your pores, you put hot water. And then when you want to close the pores, you put cold. On your face, it's the same exact thing for your hair. Hot water opens, cold water closes. Okay, so again, we're going to wring that out. Get as much water out as you can. And then you're just going to wrap her up.
Do you need to condition after you use the 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐬𝐬?
No, 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐬𝐬 is like a conditioner. And just towel dry her, and then she's ready to go to my station. And then we're going to give her a haircut. And we're just going to clean it up. That pretty, beautiful, bright color. Okay, good. Let's come over here. So this is what she asked for, but look how smart she was. She went with a short hair that has similar texture to hers, which is very smart. When you're having a consultation, you want to make sure the hair that they choose that they want to look like is actually similar to their own hair, that they could actually have that. So the funny thing is, she'll almost exactly have the same exact haircut and color. So look how nice those highlights came out. And even on the sides. See how soft it is because of the way that we went a little less and less? But at the top, you could make a little more bold. And even the back, it's soft right down on this bottom, and it blends with the very, very bottom. So she told me already what she wants. Now I'm going to take this back, and I'm going to see how all these extra little hairs are here. It's called scissor over comb. I'm going to put her head forward, and I'm going to start. You're just going to start pulling it out a little bit and then cut. Pull it out a little bit and try to like do the same amount of pulling out that you can. Think of this as being like a line right here. You're just going to keep pulling out, pulling in, pulling out, and just grab like the piece that you have like right here. Then you grab the next piece right here. And you can comb it down every time so you can really see how soft and how pretty it looks. It should look velvety. And her hairline in the back is tough. She's got a really tough hairline. See how these little points go out? There's always calyx back here. Sometimes you just want to cut that right out, which you can, so you could see how it lays after you cut that little calyx out. So then when you cut this too, see how it's starting to look nice and smooth, but very feminine still. Even here, you're going to lift that calyx up, and you just cut that little calyx out. Actually, you're going to pull the hair up and get the calyx out. Right? And then you're just going to cut little edges so it's not so straight. You can't make somebody's back of their hair perfect, but you're going to make it as close as you can. So I'm still going to kind of come up here. You're going to come up here first, and then you're going to go this way, and then you'll do it one more time this way, and vice versa. Then the other side this way, and then you'll come this way. And you keep looking at it. This is more freestyle haircut. It's by looking at what you're doing and seeing how it's falling. So if you want to take that piece, comb it down, check it, look at it. See how it's starting to blend really nice together? And because we're pulling it out, it's layering it. We're not, if I went straight against this head and pull, I'd get a big line. But you're pulling it out, so it's going to be very nice and soft and layered. See how it starts to fall? And I really want to get this out, so this comes down this way. Now I'm going to, remember, look, see this part right here that I have to get out? I want you to start seeing what I'm seeing, and I'm going to explain to you so you could really see it. And if you want, get this front side out so that you have all this to work with right here. Go up a little at a time, get that out, and take the next section like a ladder. Think of if you're going up steps. Okay, now comb it down, look at it. Okay, it's starting to fall really nice. See how important that was with that highlighting? See this little spot here? You want to grab that. Sometimes there's a lot of extra hair right here on this side because the ear takes out some hair. It's like a clump right here, directly here. So what I like to do is like lift this one little part up and just give it a little extra cut off. And you can even push it down and just cut it right behind the ear so it's not so bulky. Just that one spot. And then this will lay over it. Okay, so when you see people that have muffs right here, you can take that one section and cut it out completely. But make sure that it's going to go and it's going to work. And if they keep complaining about it, in your instinct, you're going to know, I'm going to cut that back piece out. See right here, she has it too. So I'm going to get this part out of here. I want your head this way. See all that extra hair? Just comb it right there. And just literally take a scissor and cut it right out. Okay, now this will lay over that, but that won't bulk out. And that'll be awesome for her. Trust me, she will love that there's no bulk right there. Okay, now we're just going to do this other part in the bottom. So I am using a scissor over comb. You can razor, but it's very hard to razor this bottom because it's so short. But I am going to razor kind of her sides to make them nice and soft. So listen, I want you guys to see something. See how she has the calyx? It pops up right here on its own. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be mindful of that. This is, anytime you see a calyx, you're going to leave this part longer. Okay, because this part is going to want to always pop up. It needs some weight on there to hold it down. She doesn't have any calyx over here, so you're always going to think about, okay, I'm just going to leave this one section longer, and you can. It's not going to be a perfectly even haircut, but it's going to be more balanced because you're taking consideration. This is going to be flying up in the air. You need the weight on there, so it's going to look more even though we cut it uneven. Okay, so let me match this side now. I did it this way first. Maybe I could do one more right here. Now I'm going to take it from this side. Remember, you're climbing a ladder. And I'm turning it because I'm wanting it to round out here. It's gonna go nice and round. Comb it, look at it, it's looking good. Now I wanna do this side right here. See this one spot that I missed? Remember, everything's gonna be by your eye, right here. So we're gonna take that comb, a ladder, take the first section, second step, third step, fourth step. Now look at it. See, now it's really blended so much more. Remember, it's gonna be soft. And this is gonna kind of fall like this, so it's gonna look nice and natural. See how nice and feminine this still is? Awesome. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the sides. And I am using a very good scissor. I pour a lot of money into my scissors. I think that scissors are like a knife. You want something sharp and efficient, and it's awesome for the hair because it will keep the hair nicer when you cut it with very good sharp scissors. She loves this soft. She does not like it squared. She doesn't like a point. She wants it very soft and wispy. And she does like a little over her ear. So razor is the softest. You always change your razor every single haircut. You do not use the same blade more than once. That's it. There's people that will say, oh my God, don't cut my hair with a razor. The reason why is because they've never changed the blade and it just will start shredding hair and it's terrible. I'm just gonna pick at it. You could hold it like a pencil. It'll be very soft. See that little bit of hair? And then I'm just gonna pull this little piece right here. And that's it. You can always go back more after, check it. And then I am gonna kind of frame her face a little bit here. I wanna wet it. You always want it to be nice and wet for a razor. This is like a face frame. I love to like cut little peaks. It's like 1, 2, 3. And then this one I'm going to kind of come in this way. And you could see them. And you could always do it a little bit more. You can add to that little peak. And you kind of have like, so I'll usually do 1, 2, 3 around the hairline. I could do them super short if somebody really didn't want anything around this face. You could make it really short. I could just actually cut those peaks even shorter right here, and then it would lay down. But we like it to be a little feminine and more longer there for her and her type of hair. Now I did that side. Now I'm going to do the other side. You don't always have to give a full haircut if that's not what they're wanting, if they don't need it. So I love to do section by section, do one section, then go to the next section. So one side, then go to the other side, because we're doing both sides. This way you don't forget. You know, sometimes people say, oh, I'm lost in a haircut. Well, have a pattern for the hair of how you're going to cut it so you never forget. Now we're going to do this side first, and then I'll go right to this face frame. You just come and think about where it was that you were on the other side of the ear. So if you were on halfway, you're just going to remember this side. You're going to do the same thing, and that's where you're going to start cutting into it. And then you check it. Everything is going to be check, 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 check. Okay, now I'm going to do that face frame. Remember, you're making peaks. You're going to go in there nice and gentle. You're just going to keep edging. See the little peak that I'm doing? You go in, and you cut it out. So it's like 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Now we're going to go, and you can comb this over, and you're going to check it. Your mirror is your best friend. So I'm going to look in that mirror. I'm going to make sure that she's even. And trust me, sometimes after you do it for so long, you forget to check. So always go back, check, 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 check. You have to remind yourself sometimes, because sometimes it just becomes so natural to know how to do it like close. And this side just a little bit longer. See, now she has a little bit of a cowlick right over here too. So this is the other thing. if a hair pulls up or sticks out, there's certain ways that I'm going to teach you along the way that if you do certain things to hair, it'll lay down more. Okay, and she likes extra fullness right here and right here. Remember, we're going to leave this cowlick longer, so I will take the back now and do the back. You know, you see that cowlick just fall on its own. I'm not going to do a lot. I just want to do a little tiny bit, and I'm going to take my scissors because I just want to do a dusting. I'm just going to make little peaks. So if I make peaks, it lays much better. So remember, you're going to leave that cowlick longer, so you're going to leave that, and then you take the next section, and usually this is how I always do the back section. I'll do it straight down this way, then I take a piece of this one to be your guide, and then I'll take it down this way, and then take it down this way. So majority of the time, 80%, that's how I do each section for the back. Pull it straight up, and you're going to pull it in the middle of this section. So even if I grabbed a thick section, I'm always going to pull it in the middle of that section. So if you have a section, you're just going to pull it right to the middle. No matter how big the section, if the section's that big, you're going to pull it right to the middle there. If the section's that big, pull it right into the middle of that section. Make peaks. You're just dusting it. I love that because it makes it really soft looking. Yep. And then you can, if you want to get that out of the way, if you love to be neat, that's fine too. And why am I doing that? These shorter hairs will hold up this longer hair. So that's why I'm doing that. And sometimes if you need to make more volume in body, you could cut little tiny notches, little tiny baby notches. That these little sticks, I call them like little sticks or big sticks. See, a big stick can bend real easy and it's going to go down. A small stick's really hard to bend because it's so strong, it'll hold up this other hair. And then she'll get more volume, especially because this part is the cowlick. So I'm only going to cut a couple ones over here because this is already going to stick up and be full. So I want this to be full too. You're just angling it down pretty much. You're just going to watch it. You're always looking. That's looking really pretty. It blends nice. It just totally fades into the bottom. And now we're leaving this out, but I'm going to kind of grab it down here a little bit. Okay, so you can see this. Okay, I don't have to take such perfect clean sections. You have to look at it and you'll see if you miss the spot, you're going to see it. It's going to have this long piece of hair there. So that's when you go back over it. Or when you check it too, you're knowing that this cowlick's going to be longer. When you check it, you'll see and make sure that, you know, this is always a little bit longer, but that this is pretty close, that it balances out. I really feel like it more is better balance than having perfect hair. And I will say that in all my videos, just so you guys know. Okay, I'm not really going to touch this. Still that cowlick. And of course you're on the opposite side, so you're going to be standing different. I'm holding this hair up instead of the other way under. And then look at it. Take a good look. Make sure it flows nice. Look how pretty it looks. It's good. You don't have to have perfection. Now we're going to go to her top. She likes this longer, so we want that look to have that little bit of longer like that. When I'm going to actually take this section long ways, going right here, following the way she wants it thick. And it's going to go like this. The longer the hair, the longer it's going to be in front. So I want this a little bit shorter, and it's going to be on an angle looking like that. So I want you to see what I'm talking about. See that angle? And then you're going to grab that front So you're really only just going to cut a little bit of this, and you're going to leave that front. And you can just make little peaks again. If she needs it fuller, I'm not gonna, because I feel like it's fine. I'm gonna see after. You could notch it. You don't want to do it where the bend is. See that bend? You don't do it there because it'll stick straight up right here, which you don't want. You don't really want it to stick straight up anywhere around here, or right in the part. I could do this next section for sure. I could cut into it at that little bend, but otherwise I'm going to do it above the bend so you won't really see it. So I'm just going to teach you and show you. And little tiny baby pieces. Those smaller ones are going to be stronger to give it volume up here. And sometimes if you need to make it a little, if it's too weighty, you're just going to go in there and you're just going to kind of just soft little pieces. So it's a little bit more peaks. So it's kind of like a pizza pie now. Now I'm going to kind of come down this way. But I'm always still taking a little piece from the first section. Always look at what you're doing. Now I'm really going to get, I want to get hair out of the way so it can move, because I feel like this is going to be bulky, because this is where most of her hair is. This will be your bulkiest section out of almost everybody's hair if they have a side part. And she said right here is where she wants fullness, because sometimes it's too long there and weighty. So I take a little section of the last section I took. That's your guide. That's what it's called, your guide. I'm still on the same angle, if you notice. I'm still taking this a little shorter, and this is going to come a little longer. I do want to cut into, I'm going to do it above. I don't really want to necessarily do it under the bend or at the bend. But it will poke up. See how nice that is? From cutting those little pieces in there, because they're lighter. Just make sure this section is clean though. Remember, just be careful you don't cut into that cowlick. So this is the thing. When there's 4 hairs together, it can't move. It's just too thick. So if you put 2 pieces down, they can move. And that's why it's so nice when you cut those little pieces, the other hair gets to actually move and flow. So that's why it's such a nice way of cutting hair. And it just really is like soft looking. And as long as you have that hair tight and taut, you can move it however you want to be able to cut it comfortably. I don't really want to do tons of her side until after I blow dry it. You always check and make sure, but I just want to lighten it a little. I feel like it's a little heavy, but I don't necessarily want to take the length. It's falling very nice. Now come all the way over. I do want to take a dusting of, see how you're starting to see the hair shape already before I even blow dry it? I'm going to take a little bit of her top, because she said she just wants a dusting of that. And that means you're just going to just smidge the very little ends. That's it. Because we want that long. It's going to be this beautiful, thick side sweep. And remember, it's going to go from this way up. So I'm just going to kind of cut into that. And then I could go a little shorter here. A little piece. You could either start back here or here. There's no exact reason or way that you have to do hair cutting. You just have to make sure that you are consistent, but it doesn't have to be that you start the same place every single time. As long as I'm doing the same pattern from from short to long, I could start here or I could start here. As long as it flows going to the front is fine. Remember, this is her finer side, so it's going to be cut a little different anyway. When you have more hair on one side, you're going to actually cut more out of that hair. This one, a lot less. And you want that hair to pull up right here because that's what it does on the other side. And then you check it. You're going to look in that mirror. That's your best friend, that mirror. Pull it, make sure it's even. The only place that's not going to be super even is your cowlick because it's going to be longer. Make sure you pull from the exact same sides, same pieces. And always remember this extra part here is because this is going to the side, so it should really be here and here, and then here and here, and then here and here. This side's a little bit more. So you just go back in because this side's a little bit more. Take that one section and just cut into it a little bit more. Check it again. And check a couple different pieces in that section. Good. Good. This side's just a tiny bit more. I'm just going to take this side by itself and I'm just going to cut into it a little bit. And actually, I'm just going to come down. Good. Okay. Make sure this, just use a little bit more here. All right, good. We're going to put stuff in her, and then we're going to, I like to put a mousse, something lightweight. Something lightweight, doesn't have a lot of alcohol in it. Our 𝐷AVN just has a very, very little, mild alcohol content, very little, but it puts very maximum body in the hair. I like to usually touch it, that front. See, she's going to have a lot of volume too because of the highlights. Let me just use a little bit more. I want to make this go the way I want it to, so I'm going to put a little extra right in that front. Make sure you get it down here too. I like to blow dry hair first without a brush, and I like to make it almost go the way you want. Look how cute that is too. If we wanted her just to wear it with no bang, she could totally sport that and wear that because she's beautiful. And she could let it dry like that on its own. The back looks good. You just kind of set it and forget it. You can leave it. Or like for us, we're going to dry it and try to make it like that picture. And then I use a little bit of oil because I want her ends to be nice and shiny. And really, you're just going to get that on the top. You don't really have to get it on the side so much. Or this cowlick, you could get it too, so it doesn't stick up so much. Good. Okay. So before I blow dry and before it's too loud, I just want you guys to know that I love to direct the hair. I love to use my fingers as a brush first. Sometimes I don't even have to use a brush because the fingers are so good, and I purposely direct it the way I want the hair to go. And you'll see I have a purpose for everything that I do. When I hold this hair, it's really these ends that you want to get to follow through, that sometimes you don't even have to use a brush. And her cowlick, you sometimes can hold that cowlick down and just focus on that and get that down first, and then you could do everything. So it's up to you. I want you to be your own hairdresser. I'm just going to give you tools and great little techniques that you could learn for yourself. Okay, good. I have a powerful blow dryer too, and it's lightweight. I'm going to direct the hair. I want this to kind of come back and then over. Her side, I'm actually, where her part is, I'm gonna actually lift this hair up a little, come on top, and then you could always come underneath, but definitely get these little tiny hairs and you want them to go under. So you're gonna see it'll have volume, it'll come up and come under. The funny thing is now I want this part to be straight though. So I'm gonna really kind of push this down straighter and then make sure that I have the volume for the top part. In the mirror, mirror always. Now with her front, I want to push it this way first. I'm going to push it the opposite way first, and then I'm going to come back so that this part is not just a hole, that it just separates. You want it to have a little bit of volume and then come back. So you go the opposite direction first and then you pull it back. And you do this part straight. Okay. You're gonna look in that mirror and think, what else do I need to do? See how nice it looks though without me even doing the brush yet. But I am gonna do the brush a little, and I want more volume here. I want this to be a little softer. I'm gonna use it on low too. I really want those ends of that hair, so that back lays down nice. I'm lifting it up and then just do the ends. Lift it up, get those ends and roll it at the same time so it really starts to all blend together. Now I'm going to do this side, back. It's the side back. Get the back, get the bottom, and get those ends. Get those ends, get those ends, get those ends. And I'm going to be turning it towards the back because I want this to feather back so it will all blend so nice. So one is more straight, that you could just wear a straight look, and this one's going to be a little bit more of a bend look, but still full and straight. This is her 𝐬𝐽. Sometimes we get too square here, so you have to be careful to lay this part down. I use my pinky as a sectioner. I'll grab that hair, put the brush in, get the bottom. Grab the next section with my pinky. And it's okay, it's not a perfect section, but just roll it so it's coming back. Take the next section, just roll it so it's coming back. Look how pretty that back looks. See how nice that is? Okay, now we'll do her side over here. I want this more flatter. This is her 𝐾𝐬 too. She's kind of got it right here, but it goes a little bit here. We like to keep this part a little flatter so she doesn't look too square. We want that straight. I'm going to over direct it a little bit this way. Wherever you put the brush is where you're going to find the bend. You can get that out of the way if you want and then do the next one. And then I'm going to use the big brush for the front. Always remember on this gets hot. This is a metal brush. Metal brushes are great, almost like a curling iron, because it will get hot. and it will bend that hair the way you want it. So if I'm concentrating right here, this hair is gonna bend right here. If I don't wanna concentrate on that, I could actually pull this and do it up here and not necessarily get this, and I see how I don't have the brush bent. If I wanna bend, I'm gonna actually wrap it around a little, and then I have a little bend here. And I would actually blow dry it like that, and then it'll get a nice bend, and then I'll come out straight. And I'm gonna push that out of the way, and then I wanna just get the next part. You want it to blend with that straight side. And now I'm gonna take the big brush. Okay. We're gonna sweep this over. And I wanna make this straight too. Now, this is the thing too. I'm not really necessarily focused on the root here because I don't have to be. I really need to focus on the ends. The ends are more important. You want texture and volume in here, so you want it a little messy, not so perfect and so slick and smooth, because you want body in this hair. And it looks beautiful. Okay, I'm just gonna do a little piece right here. So when you look at it, you could see, right here I need a little more fullness. I'm gonna get this other hair out of the way. I want it right here. So you could just take one section and just make a difference from one little section. Now I'm gonna actually just rough up that hair a little bit and just let it be natural. She could do a lot of different styles out of this one haircut. She could wear it flat. She could wear it with a thick side. She could wear the whole thing flat or just half of it full, half of it flat. There's just so many good options with short hair too to do fun things. I'm gonna get something like a pliable paste to hold and mold pieces the way I want it to be. So I have a little bit of pliable paste on my hands, and you could just pick pieces just to make it more edgy, to stay. She doesn't really like hairspray, so you don't have to use that. Even for her sides, you just put a little on your hands and you could just pick out pieces. You can make it more sharp looking. Look at how nice that hair came out. You could even grab little pieces here, put her little fringes. Good. So Tammy, what do you think? I want you to check your sides too. I love for her to make sure that it's not too thick, it's not too bulky, because sometimes her sides could be a little bulky, and then what I would do is take a thinning shear and I would just thin it out if it was a little too bulky. Remember, you want it balanced. Yeah, there you go. Let me thin that out a little. I'll get my thinning shears. So these are my thick thinning shears that will cut a lot of bulk out, and these are my thin cutting shears.
It looks like another layers maybe here. That
Okay. Yep. And this will just soften hair. If I just want to, like, if there's like any lines anywhere, this I could just go into it right where it is, and I could get the bulk out, a little bit of bulk, and just make the line go away. So we blow dry it too. I'm thinking here. Okay. So look, it's this one little piece here. Okay, so I'll show you. It's not a big thing, but it just makes it just a little bit nicer and like more even. So just here's a little tiny bulkier. We're just gonna grab that piece, take your, this is just a little bit of thinning shear, it's not a big one. And I'm just gonna kind of cut into that a little bit, make that a little wispier. And that's it. That's a small little thing like that. Check it and just make sure. Right. Yep, one little more piece. Good. Okay. Good. What do you think? So this is Tammy's beautiful short haircut, and this is not a perfect match to the cut that she showed me in the beginning, but it's really close, and it's good on her face, her hair, with her eyes. So now you guys will be able to see the before and the after, and this is her finished, the finished product. Yay, you did a good job, Tammy. Okay. So a couple things I just want to share with you. Now that we're finished, you're not fully done yet. You're going to walk them up to the front, and you're going to make another appointment. You're going to know how long it usually takes. So for her break the base, I'd probably do between 4 to 6 weeks. That's your average. Short hair, you usually have to do a little bit more, so it's almost every 4 weeks. But Tammy's really good with her hair, and because it's so layered and it's like stacked, she could go a little longer of making it volume in here so you can't actually see that she needs highlights or color, well, which would be the break the base for her. So you get products that you used on her, you let her know how you did them, you educate her on those products, you tell her what they do, and then you teach her how to blow dry her own hair. Remember, when you have somebody that's beautiful, that has great hair, you want her to be your walking model, to be able to bring clients, because that's the best way, is word of mouth. People see her, they're like, oh my gosh, who did your hair? I love it. And there she says, Kimmy. And I've trained her well to do her own hair, so that when she's not with me, she knows how to do her own hair, and people will ask her out there, not just when she leaves here. So put the products up front, reschedule her next appointment, and that should be it. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.